Hello everyone. In this video we are going to see how to use a software for digital circuit. The name of the software is Logisim-evolution. As you can see in this help that the software name is Logisim-evolution. It is a free and open source software available for download from the internet. And using this software you can design logic circuits and see the working of these circuits in the software. As you can see in the software, this is the first screen which we will get when we switch on this particular circuit software, and you can see that there are different options for adding all kinds of gates. These are the different types of multiplexers which you can add. You can add different types of arithmetic circuits like adders, subtractors. There are a lot of circuits which you can add, including shift registers, counters, all the different types of flip-flops which belongs to the category called memory. Apart from that, you got the input output components of a digital circuit, and we will be using the buttons and the LEDs. So let us say how to add some of these circuits. Let us say you want to add an AND circuit. So you just click on this add circuit and bring the mouse on this particular panel and click where you want to place the add gate. Now on the bottom left hand side you can see that you can change the properties of this AND gate. You can make the size of this AND gate much more bigger, or you can make it much more smaller, like narrow. Let us keep it medium, and you can design and you can decide that how many inputs this particular AND gate should have. For example, I can have an AND gate of 3 input, and let us say I want to have it for 2 input. So I'm designing an AND gate which takes 2 inputs and it will have 1 output. Now the way you add the input pins, you just have to take your mouse to this blue dot and click on the mouse and drag it to the left hand side, so the input pin is appearing. Similarly, drag the mouse. For having the output pin, you can see a red dot here, so click on that and drag towards the right. So this is how you create an AND gate. Now you need to add the inputs as well as the output. So for adding the input as well as the output, now we can see that the shortcut, some of these components which are there on this left hand side panel are available on the just below the menu bar. So this is the input pin, or the input which you can add to the input pin. So I click on that particular button, I bring it here. So this is my input which I have added to one of the pins. Again I want to add to the second pin, so I am adding to the second pin. Now let us say I want to add the output also, so I click on here and I add the output also. Now let us say I want to test how the circuit works. So you might have studied the truth table of an AND gate. We know that when one of the input is 0, the output is always 0. So let us check that. For checking the particular circuit, how it is working, you need to click on this probe symbol, and using this particular symbol you can change the value of this particular inputs and test what is the output value. So right now the value is 0 and 0, and we know that the output is 0. So I make this value 1, and we see that the output is still 0. I make this one 0 and make the first input 1. Then also I observe that the output is not changed, it is still 0. Now I make both the inputs 1, so you can see that the output has become 1 here. So this is a very simple example of testing a logic gate using different inputs, and software will give you the output for all the input combinations. In a similar way, you can create any complex logic circuit and find out what is the output. Let us say that I want to add a XOR gate, and let us say I want to create an input like this, and the input will be like this. I don't want this output, so I select it and delete it. Now I will try to add one more logic gate. This is the NAND gate I would like to add here. So this is my output, and these are the two inputs for the NAND gate. So now this becomes a bit more complex circuit, and I add the output to this pin. Now this circuit is a bit complex, and you can test what is the output value for each of the input combinations. So the inputs are, so let us again bring the probe symbol, and check the output. Let us say both the inputs are 0 and 0. You can see that when both the inputs are 0 and 0, you get one output. I make one of the inputs as 1. You can see that the output is 1. I make this 0 and make this 1. The output is still 1. I make both the input 1 1, and the output is still 1. So you can observe that when you give 0 and 0 as the input, or 0 and 1 as the input, or 1 0 as the input, or 1 1 as the input, in all the cases the output remains to be 1. Thank you very much.